Confusion as cabinet ministers dispute there's a call for a judicial inquiry into the banks that closed Gupta accounts. Police statistics show that violent crime is on the rise. It's Friday. Hello and welcome to it. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Tutuzile Ramela.
And I'm Sandy Lagangose. Good evening.
To comment on any of our stories, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct.
And tonight our hashtags are Zwane, crime stats and Occupy the Tuli House.
There's still no official word from Cabinet on investigations into the banks that closed Gupta accounts. A statement released by Mineral Resources Minister Msebenzi Zwane announced that it will ask President Jacob Zuma to set up a judicial inquiry into the decision by South Africa's top 4 banks. Zwane is of the opinion that Cabinet backs the call. However, it looks like the different spheres of government are not on the same page.
Confusion reigns supreme. After a tense week, Mineral Resources Minister Msebenzi Zwane announced early on Friday that Cabinet will be asking President Jacob Zuma for a judicial inquiry into South Africa's 4 major banks and even the Reserve Bank. But an official Cabinet statement released later made no mention of this.
It is the representation of the chair of the IMC that Cabinet has resolved. As to why it is not in the Cabinet statement of today, it is beyond my mandate to represent thereupon. You would have to engage with the the representatives of the Cabinet.
Government's Communication and Information System also confirmed to eNCA that Zwane's statement was not Cabinet's official policy and promised a clarifying statement which didn't arrive. Other cabinet ministers also disputed the announcement.
There's only one cabinet statement. So I'm not aware of many cabinet statements on the similar issue.
The back and forth has left analysts questioning the certainty of South Africa's financial sector.
The difficulty is being a rational investor in an irrational environment. Information that is coming out is very confusing and is making a lot of analysts very jittery about the current South Africa and also future South Africa.
The ongoing shenanigans surrounding Treasury and other key government departments is directly affecting South Africa's economic future. In a climate of weak growth and falling investment, it's exactly the opposite of what the country needs. Nicolaas Bauer, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Sandton.
Violent crime has gotten worse compared to last year, but police say South Africa is still a safer place than it was a decade ago. Their annual crime statistics were released in Parliament today.
More South Africans are losing their lives in violent crimes. There's been a spike in murders. Over 18,500 people were killed during the last financial year. That's a 4.9% increase compared to the previous year. Attempted murder is almost as bad. Just over 18,000 cases were opened, up 3.4% from the year before. Close to 200,000 people opened cases of assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm, on par with last year. Common assault is up by 2.2%, with over 100,000 cases logged. Police say the violent crime is a symptom of a broken society, fueled by antisocial behavior, drugs and alcohol. But they believe South Africa is still safer than 10 years ago.
South Africa is experiencing a decrease in incidents of crime in the broad categories, with the exception of one particular category that appears to be quite stubborn, and that's the conduct crime category. But if you go into the further and deeper analysis of what the conduct crime analysis outlook is all about and so on, it actually talks to the social fabric of our society.
Police are winning the fight against other crimes. Sexual offences are down by 3.2%, even though over 51,000 cases were reported. Robbery is down 1.5%, with just over 54,000 cases logged. Police management believes more officers on the beat will help curb violent crimes.
What is it that the social workers are going to do to bring down the counter-crime that we are talking of? These crimes are being committed by people who are wielding illegal firearms. And as the South African Police Service, we do our best to bring these crime levels down to ensure that the same social workers are able to do their work in our communities.
But police say the help of all South Africans is needed to put an end to violent crimes. Lester Kivet, Parliament.
There was a fiery exchange at a Pretoria hotel earlier today involving two ANC factions. The so-called hashtag Occupy Luthuli House group came face-to-face with the Tshwane ANC Youth League. The movement is calling for the president and the NEC to step down. Now, while the party's youth wing is challenging the legitimacy of the hashtag Occupy Luthuli House movement.
Join us on the 5th of September 2016 as we occupy Luthuli House, calling for the following in the immediate. The immediate resignation of the president of the ANC, the immediate resignation of all current NEC members.
Barely minutes into the Occupy Luthuli House media briefing, three ANC Youth League Greater Tshwane leaders put an abrupt end to the proceedings.
If ever they were doing this thing outside Johannesburg, we would not even interfere. I'm sure structures of Johannesburg would have been able to come and decisively do the very same thing that we are doing.
The League says the Occupy Luthuli House group are not legitimate leaders of the party and have no right to speak on behalf of members.
It can't be possible that we allow such things to happen, not in our name. If ever they want to do it in the name of their own as privacy, there's no problem. But here when we arrive, it's colors of the ANC, our own colors.
They've also warned against occupying Luthuli House on Monday.
If they are calling for the president to be removed, they know the process. They must march to the Union Building. When they march to Luthuli House, they are then marching against members of the ANC, and they will find us waiting there. We are going to be waiting for them.
Organizers are unfazed by the Youth League's actions.
We were anticipating this kind of reaction, and it's no surprise. It's actually a manifestation of what might happen at Occupy Luthuli House. But we are undeterred. We are not shaken.
Police is coming.
Yeah, we are waiting for the police. We'll wait for them.
Police had to be brought in as the Youth League remained defiant. The organizers say the occupation of the ANC headquarters will go ahead as planned on Monday. Sikelelwa Mdingi, Pretoria.
The Cape Town Girls' School is the latest to be accused of racist and discriminatory policies. Sanssouci High School pupils are demanding a change in the current code of conduct. They've joined a growing number of high school pupils around the country protesting against discriminatory rules.
Forced to conform, pupils at Sanssouci Girls High School are fed up with being discriminated against. They say their complaints against the school have been ignored and silenced. Many claim they've been victimized by the principal.
For 4 years, I've been in a battle with the school, with the principal and the school's authority. I am a Sangoma. I've been in a constant battle with the school about my beads because I'm not allowed to wear my beads because they don't fit the proper Sanssoucian girl that they idealize.
You cannot have afros, you cannot have weaves, you cannot have braids. She referred to afros as candy floss, and then she said that weaves stink. They are like curtains, and they stink. Braids also stink.
Pupils are demanding a revision of the school policy and code of conduct. They are also calling for disciplinary action against staff members. Former pupils have come forward in support, so did one of the teachers.
I support my students. I think this is a very important statement that they're making. This kind of thing has now, we realize it's been going on for a lot longer. When I spoke to the principal, I said that I actually can't work here, knowing now what the policies are.
The school's governing body will meet next week to discuss the pupils' grievances. At the same time, the Western Cape Education Department says it's investigating the allegations. RT Narsi, Cape Town.
Further afield, the American state of Florida has been hit by a hurricane for the first time in more than a decade. Herman has brought a heavy storm surge, resulting in more than 50 countries declaring a state of emergency. Schools are shut, people are being rescued in floods, and thousands of homes are without power. Suicide bombers in Pakistan have killed at least 12 people and injured more than 50. 4 attackers targeted a Christian neighborhood near Peshawar, killing a security guard before being shot dead. The other victims were in a court in the northern city of Mardan. An attacker ran in and threw a grenade before detonating his suicide vest. And Donald Trump's wife, Melania, is suing a British newspaper and a U.S. blogger for $150 million for alleging she was a part-time escort in the 1990s. Her lawyer says the claim is an outright lie. Both the Daily Mail and the blogger have since retracted their stories.
Time now for all of your social media with Duduzi.
It is indeed. Thank you so much, Sandile. In what could be a massive blow to Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan, the Cabinet has retained Dudu Myeni as the chairperson of the SAA board. The DA says Myeni and her board have destroyed the national carrier. The airline is looking for a 5 billion rand guarantee from Treasury, but it's refused to sign off on that guarantee while the current board is in place. We end with this. The NPA has decided to prosecute a police colonel as well as controversial KwaZulu-Natal businessman Toshan Pandey for corruption. It's alleged Pandey and Colonel Navin Mado offered then KZN Hawks head Johan Boyson more than R1 million to backdate a report into a World Cup accommodation probe. Apparently, this was to make the report inadmissible in court. The report was linked to a Hawks corruption investigation into accommodation for police officers deployed during the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Pandey has reportedly boasted he is friends with President Jacob Zuma. If you've missed any of the stories that we're tracking for you, you can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct. Or you can head on over to our website. That's eNCA.com/direct. We've got your business news as well as your weekend weather forecast after this. The Public Investment Corporation wants to meet with Anglo American to discuss whether its plan to sell more than half of its mines is the best option for the country. The PIC, which owns about 14.5% of Anglo, wants to put the sale plan to a shareholder vote. It's worried that selling mines after commodity prices plunged wouldn't realize the full value of the assets. The PIC oversees South African government's workers' pension funds among the 1.7 trillion in assets it holds. Now, should the disposal plan go ahead, the PIC would prefer that the coal, iron ore and manganese mines up for sale be bundled with some of Anglo's platinum mines. And with, the price for a litre of petrol will be 18 cents cheaper for all grades from next Wednesday. The price of diesel will decrease by 48 cents a litre. A stronger oil price and a weaker rand have put the brakes on more substantial decreases. And on that note, we see how the markets perform today. Let's check in with the Weather Centre. Here's Joel Guy.
Welcome to the Weather Center. We ended the work week with cloud-free skies across much of the country, but we saw high cloud pushing across much of KwaZulu-Natal, and we also had a southerly breeze pushing a lot of cloud into the southern areas, where we stayed with wet weather between Cape Agulhas and Jeffreys Bay and the adjacent interior. On Saturday, we are going to see rain and thunder showers extending from parts of the Western Cape into the Eastern Cape and also spreading into the southern parts of KwaZulu-Natal as the day progresses. It's going to stay sunny for the rest of the country. Cool afternoon temperatures are forecast for southwestern South Africa. It's going to be warm for the northeastern areas, and we're expecting a hot one for the eastern parts of the Northern Cape. Now, KwaZulu-Natal is going to be mostly cloudy with rain and thunder showers for the southern sections. Sunny skies are forecast, however, for the northern areas. Durban will peak at just around 23 degrees. Thunder showers are forecast for the eastern areas of the Eastern Cape. Rain for the western sections, where Port Elizabeth will peak at just around 17 degrees. Wet weather continues continues for the south coast and the adjacent interior of the Western Cape. Cape Town, however, is going to become sunny with a high of around 21 degrees. Sunny skies are forecast across much of the Northern Cape, where warm to hot temperatures are forecast in most areas. Uppington making it to 32, 30 for the high in Kimberley. We are going to stay with clear skies across the Free State, and a high of 28 is forecast for Bloemfontein, the same for Felcom. Further north in the northwest, we are also going to be seeing cloud-free skies with temperatures in the upper 20s for most places. Hot for Vryburg, peaking at around 31 degrees. It's going to stay sunny and warm to hot across Limpopo, Polokwane, warming to around 26 degrees. Clear skies are also forecast overhead across Mpumalanga. A high of 29 is forecast for Mbombela. Pretoria is also going to peak at around 29 degrees with sunny weather forecast for Gauteng. We stay with mostly sunny skies on a Sunday across much of the country. Rainy weather is forecast along the east coast. Then on a Monday, we are going to have cloudy, rainy and chilly weather across southwestern South Africa.
Thank you, Joel. After the break, 9 years in the making, actress Pearl Thusi tells us how she landed a role in the US drama series Quantico. Welcome back. Watch out, Charlize Theron. Pearl Thusi is aiming for the Hollywood spotlight big time.
She is indeed. The TV personality recently secured a role in a US drama series, Quantico. International magazines can't seem to get enough of her.
Thusi's back home, taking a breather before heading back to New York for round 2.
Yep, and we caught up with her at a photo shoot to get the lowdown.
Now, she's a woman on a mission, recently securing an international acting role. She's now finally back in South Africa to give us a taste of her experience of the Big Apple. Well, who exactly am I talking about? Pearl Thusi. How are you finding your role? Are you killing it, girl?
Girl, I'm killing it. I'm really enjoying it. It's very different. It's make-believe. And the thing is, you've got to believe it first for the next person to believe it as well as an actress. If I don't believe I am really a Zimbabwean Harvard Law graduate in that moment when the director says action, then you're not going to believe it either. So it's really been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying working with the people I'm working with. It's been about 9 years leading up to this. You know, it's not like I just emerged after Zone 14. There was a lot of work I've done preparing for this and a lot of it that I've been through. And I think now the real work begins. So I think whether I can sustain this and maintain it is where my focus is on right now.
A reminder of the day's top stories before we say goodbye. Confusion as cabinet ministers dispute there's a call for a judicial inquiry into the banks that closed Gupta accounts. Police statistics show that violent crime is on the rise. And that's our lot for the week.
It is indeed. Rhythm City's up next. We're back in 72 hours.
We do love to hear from you. You can send us an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
Or of course, you can just talk to us on Twitter and Facebook, and our handle is @eNewsDirect.
Until Monday night, have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.